I am Dr. Shun Huddleston.
And I am Dr. P. Ryan.
Mother.
Storyteller.
Wanderlust.
Friend.
Workout Barbie.
All around good time.
And we are
the Rosé Thorns podcast. Hey, love bugs, and welcome to another episode of the Rosé Thorns podcast. I am Dr. P. Ryan.
And I am Dr. Shun.
And we are so glad to be in the service one more time.
Hey, we are here. Want to do it?
We could have been somewhere else.
I know, but we are here.
But we are
happy
here
to be here
today.
Yes.
How are you?
You know what? I am doing really, really well. I took a solo trip.
Okay. Solo
to
dolo.
Scottsdale. That's one of my favorite places to go. So
Shoot.
I know.
Shoot.
Stella got a group back. But I went out there. I went hiking. Just some good me time.
I love Arizona.
You know what I loved about it too? So it had like a regular shower, had a gigantic bathtub, but then on the outside it also had a shower. So just taking showers outside was just like
I love that you went
so
solo
exhilarating.
dolo.
Yeah, it was really good.
But
like
can we talk about
in the nature.
How outside showers were definitely made for an extra person.
Well, not on this trip. Oh, it was great. So, even met some great people at the resort, hung out with them. Shout out to Charles. Good person.
Barkley?
No.
Oh.
No, not no Barkley. No. He was just there too at the resort, and we hung out at the pool. Just had a good time. He was just a good person. Just met a good friend, So that was really nice. But ate some really good food. Hiked. You have to hike super early in the morning,
You pass out.
You will pass out. You will not be with us anymore. You have to plan very strategically against that heat. I think at one point it was like 117 out there.
I believe it.
So it was really hot. But it was really good. So I had a great time. Just lots of reflection, journaling, got caught up on work, which I rarely have time just to sit with and just do. So I had a fun time. And came back refreshed and ready to get back here with you.
Sounds like you had your exhale.
I did.
I know that's right, Bernadine.
I did. Not Bernadine.
I'll be Savannah.
I want to be Savannah.
Okay. He's a good man.
He's a good man, Savannah. So yeah, it was good. What you been up to?
Wonderful. I've been working.
Working
hard.
Oh, working, no play.
Working for the man every night and day. Yeah.
However, what about play? Where's the play?
Where indeed.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
Okay. We'll
in a future episode.
Okay.
But in working, I went to a couple conferences. One of them was actually the ASEC conference. Are you familiar with ASEC?
I am, but I think you should tell the people what it is.
ASEC is the American Association for Sex Educators, Counselors, and Therapists.
Love that.
Right?
Yes, yes.
The people may not know, but the doll is a budding sex therapist.
You are? When will you be have all that completed?
I'll announce it.
Yeah, we need an announcement because I feel like the people will be coming to you.
They already are.
That's a real problem in relationships.
Yeah.
So things that people need to talk more about. It's like their sexuality or just sex in general and what that is.
I'm your guy. Wrote a whole book.
Right. You did write a book. Tell the people about your book. Just real quick,
Yeah. It's an expansion from my dissertation, Internalized Homonegativity Among Same-Gender Loving Black Men. But that's related to my ASEC trip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So I went to ASEC. It's a conference. So, of course, there are like presenters.
Right.
There was a presenter there, Dr. Bill Johnson, Black man who was talking about Black men's sexuality.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
And so he was talking about how, as clinicians, we need to really be attuned to Black male experiences and really take efforts to understand those experiences better. And he referenced various pieces of research.
Yes.
Right? Not surprising, one of those pieces of research was Dr. Shamika Thorpe, who is this leader in Black women's sexuality, Black sexuality. She is chef's kiss.
Yeah.
And so he's going on through that presentation.
And you're there just listening.
And I'm taking
it all in.
And he starts to mention and reference research on anal play, pleasure.
Okay.
And how that does not have to be painful and things like that, right? And how, different scholars are talking about Black male sexuality and are moving from like a trauma lens to a pleasure lens.
Sure.
And as he is referencing information from 2020, 2019, I said, wait a minute. That's my shit. He referenced my article.
How did that feel
on
for you?
Oh, I was shaking. I almost started crying.
Oh my goodness.
Right? He referenced my research on kind of just like exploring sex clubs and things like
Yeah.
that. And it was so wild. I was shook, right?
Right.
Because I wrote these articles.
Mm-hmm.
They can be found out here in the ether. And I was just like, whoever picks them up is going to pick them up.
Dissertation.
I'm not expecting people to like really be into it. It is what it is. And then here's this man literally raving about my work. Quoting my work in the same presentation as someone as a heavy hitter, like Dr. Shamika Thorne, right?
So you see these people like proximal in terms of like their career trajectory and how versed they are in the field to be able to acknowledge your work as well in the same
it blew
space,
my mind,
right? Yes.
But then it made me think
that's a huge impact.
Huge.
That's huge.
The doll is out here.
You better.
Just a little. But it made me think too, like, it made me question and confront in that moment. Why did you expect your work to just be put out in the ether and not touched by anybody or touched by the very
That's an excellent question. Like, why didn't you think people would see it as sufficient and equitable?
And not even that they wouldn't see it as sufficient, but it's just like, why didn't you think the stuff you put out would be picked up by many?
Yeah, same thing, more or less. Yeah, more or less. That's the same thing. Like, why would you like
I don't know.
when it is?
Yeah, but
so why?
I don't know, but it had me reflect on a moment where somebody read me back in the day.
Say more.
Well, we talked about in an earlier episode the things you have to do to become a psychologist, right? And you need an internship from what? An accredited institution.
APA accredited
huh?
institution.
Yes, you do.
Specifically.
And while I was on my internship journey, you don't just go pick up an internship off a tree.
No.
Right?
And where were you again?
I did my internship in Atlanta.
Okay.
Right?
Atlanta, VA now? Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
But on the journey to matching with Atlanta, I had interviewed at a few places.
Sure, absolutely. Right? That's part of the process.
And one of those places was Howard University.
Okay.
Right? Which I absolutely loved, actually.
Absolutely.
They were in my top ranking.
Sure.
But when I was interviewing at Howard, right, one of the doctors, one of the psychologists interviewing me, he was actually frat. So shout out to frat for holding me accountable.
Hey.
He stopped the interview while I was answering questions, sweating up a storm, got my rag, right? And he was just like, you are really skilled. You're really qualified, but I'm picking up that you don't believe you are.
That's a word.
I'm picking up on imposter syndrome.
That's a word.
And he kind of gagged me in the interview. I was just like, what? Right? And so then with this experience, years later, I'm well into my career. Well, I'm early career, but well into the career.
Right.
Here comes this piece again. Here comes me questioning, why did you not think your work would get picked up? Why did you not think your work would be acknowledged as powerful as it is? Right. Imposter syndrome.
Right. So that work that you've done that's like really feeding into the literature base, really feeding into how we inform and talk about these different dynamics and phenomena.
And I was wondering
you are a part of that.
Yeah. And I was wondering if we could talk about imposter syndrome today, because I think it follows so many of us.
Oh, I think yes, absolutely. I think a lot of people experience that. I think though, and to your point though, I don't think that it's really well understood. And I think, particularly just understanding what it is one of the first steps, right?
Absolutely.
I think most people think that imposter syndrome is a clinical diagnosis, but it is not. Yeah. It is not in the DSM-5 TR now, right?
Yeah.
Which is
the teal book, not the purple one.
Right. All the colors, they do change the
beautiful.
Colors. They change the colors quite often. Every time like a new version, right? They change the colors.
I love it.
But it's not within the manual that we use to diagnose individuals in our work. So it was actually developed by Dr. Pauline Rose Clance. She coined this great term, right? And it is a phenomenon experienced by many, as we just talked about. And remembering that can all help us normalize like what that has looked like in our lives and hopefully make sense out of it. So that's what our plan is today, right? You want to say more?
It involves perfectionism.
It does.
It involves a disbelief that the work you put out there is valid, is impactful. Right. Shout out to the story that introduced this whole thing.
Right.
It can cause burnout.
And the burnout comes from just the pressure to continue to achieve, right? And to continue in the space and within that pace that you're not good enough, right? And so you're an imposter and you're doing things to keep, to keep going.
And excuse my mini language, right? But it's such a mind F.
It is. It is.
Right? Because think of it, you're working super hard to keep achieving while not believing that your achievements are valid, right? While carrying this belief that in some way you're going to be found out for not being that girl. That's so, excuse this term, but crazy making.
It is. It can be crazy work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just all in your mind of you sort of having this belief about yourself as you navigate the different systems and spaces that you've truly worked hard for.
And I think as, we are sitting here, Black folks. Right? There is so much research out there that highlights that as Black folks, this phenomenon is so common.
It really is.
Especially in spaces like academia, right? That's the space that we're kind of talking about. Because we are expected to juggle so many things at once, right? We're supposed to perform well in this academic space. We're supposed to face racial discrimination. Because of the positions we hold, they're often really isolating. So we got to navigate that isolation. Then these systems are effing racist, right?
No, absolutely they are.
We have to navigate oppression, marginalization.
Yep. Discrimination, different type of prejudices, depending on, where you are.
And
go ahead. No.
Oh, and when I think of that, it makes me think not just of academia, but it makes me think of intersecting identities.
Right.
And how, yes, as Black folks.
Maybe we should talk about what that is. Like intersecting identities.
Oh, yes.
Just a little bit. So for example, being, Black and a woman.
Yes.
Those are intersecting identities, right? And so what would you say yours are?
Me being Black, gay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A little unwell. Right? I got 3 of them for you, right? So navigating all these spaces,
right. All these contending spaces.
All these identities, right?
All these identities,
Dr. Kimberly Crenshaw highlights that these different identities make the oppression navigation process that much more difficult.
Right. And up against and within spaces where we don't supposed to be successful in the first place. So it becomes a very contentious and tedious process to make sense out of and still show up in ways that you need to. Yeah.
And it also makes me question, where does our imposter syndrome, imposter phenomenon story start, right? Because we can easily say, oh yeah, it's academia, right? It's the ivory tower, and it does have an impactful.
Yeah, I think it's perpetuated in those. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think for me, I don't think it starts there. I think it had some heavy blows there.
I think you take some hits,
right?
Some hard ones, but I definitely don't think it starts there.
I think growing up, I grew up in very religious spaces, right? I still exist in those spaces, but even being a young child, right? People snuff the gay out of you before you even know.
Right, before you know.
Right? It's just like, wow, let's all relax.
They start calling out, right? They have their suspicions, especially sometimes, within those religious spaces, as you just talked about, or just, sometimes, Black family dynamics, right? Yeah.
And so there's that identity piece, but there, I'm a thick girly, right? Okay. I've always been so.
Yeah.
So there was even ridicule around size. And so.
Oh, wow.
And also I would say going to church was one thing, but I also went to school with the people I went to church with, right? And so it's just I never really got a break.
From that ridicule, never got away from
except from when I went home, right? And so I think that might have been the origin story, right? I need to work hard to prove myself in these other spaces who may not be valid because of these identities that people are not accepting or they're classifying as not good enough, right? And so in a way, it's kind of this conditioning where you go through life with these pieces of you that are not fully acceptable, but then you sing good. You speak good.
Right.
Speak well.
Speak well. I was about to say, you better.
Okay. You sing well. You speak well. You do well on the test.
Right.
You move through life.
Right.
But there are always these external voices saying, not good enough. And sometimes those get internalized to then kind of fuel the flames of this imposter phenomenon.
Yeah, I agree with that. Very much so. I mean, me being from Mississippi, and thinking about where that evolved for me. Like I think about, so I have a family where we like make fun of each other, but in a good-hearted way, but also not understanding sometimes how it may be problematic or damaging unconsciously, right? So my family would always like kind of make fun of like little cute things about how you look. So I was this little girl with these big old brown eyes, right? And so everybody talked about my eyes, so big. So I became hyper conscious and aware of them, thinking that it was something wrong with me, right? I'm 5, 6 years old trying to make sense out of this. I'm like, wait, something wrong with my eyes.
Listen, they say train up a child, it starts young.
I know. But the craziest part, that's one of the things that people talk about that they like about my physical appearance most is like my eyes, right? But I had to grow into them things. But
they look beautiful.
But growing up and wow, that was like a good-hearted conversation. Like I remember like if somebody lost something, like they had a pen or something, they're like, Shun, come in here and help find the pen.
That's out of control.
Yes. So it was like things like that, right? So, but then, and to your point, while that dynamic existed, they always talked about how smart I was, right? Oh, you're so smart and you can do this and you can do that, which also obviously helped build my confidence, but I still had this hyper awareness around like my appearance in that earlier on space, but then that also grew into other things as I became more conscious and aware of the world, right? And then another added layer I would argue is I was the first person on my mom's side to go to college. So navigating that space and not knowing what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong, just trying to figure it out. And obviously my family did the best that they could, but it was still a space that was pretty isolating. Yeah. Because I was primarily raised in the home with my mom, my dad very much so in my life, but I lived with my mom. Yeah. So she gave what information she could, but a lot of that I had to figure out on my own. So I think that also, created this consciousness around my abilities, right?
Navigating things on your own. Yeah.
Right. So going to college, even undergrad, I went to a HBCU, like first, go Grambling, go Grambling, go Grambling. But it was good for me though. Yeah. It was good for me because like I left where I'm from in Mississippi, Tupelo, shout out to Tupelo. Left there and then I went into another small space, but it was exactly what I needed to help work through some of this, hyper awareness, consciousness around my abilities. If I could actually go to college and do well and be successful and manage and handle all these spaces. And it was, great to be at a HBCU, being with other people that look like me and navigate that space where, Black excellence and Black education was the status quo. Like that was expected.
I appreciate you saying it's what you needed to kind of prepare you for the time.
Oh, absolutely.
You after grad school, or sorry, after undergrad, excuse me, had to go to grad school, right? How did that experience that you needed shape your resilience in like the grad school space?
It built my confidence in a different way. So being around other Black people who wanted to be successful, wanted to get a college degree. I remember having this professor, like statistics professor, and he used to talk about like, you got to be academically nasty. You got to be academic. I was like, you're right. You do. Like you got to be able to compete in these PWIs, whatever you guys decide to do, you need to be able to do it and be academically nasty. And so those experiences, even though that was just him preaching to the classroom, like it meant so much to me, right? Around like what was expected of me and what I was called to do moving forward. So crazy thing though, I go to school wanting to be a criminal defense attorney.
Okay. Dr. Shun, attorney at law.
I was like, what? No, rationale around me wanting to be this, right, was because my favorite cousin wanted to be it. Not because I knew. Nobody in my family was an attorney. She wanted to be it. I was like, okay, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Right, me too. And I'm on debate teams, doing all this fun stuff in high school. And then I get to college and I was like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to do that. But psychology is what I liked. And so I was lucky enough blessed to have like really, really great professors. And even another professor was one that really encouraged me to go to grad school because I really didn't know. Like it's and not feeling good enough to even do that, right? Back to this whole idea about imposter syndrome, not knowing if I had the skills and what what it was going to take for me to get to that point.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know any, I mean, there were black psychologists like in the program teaching the courses, but like in practice in terms of what I eventually ended up doing, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So, you know, having these people in place and those experiences specifically definitely helped lead the charge forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely opened the door to this idea that having people already in those positions so into you is so impactful.
It really is.
I didn't have exposure to that until after my training, right? So like going into internship, right?
Yeah.
So during my doctoral training, the messages I received, I'm gonna just put it out there.
Just say it.
And if you find out where I went to school,
it is what it is.
Right? But, you know, there were some professors there, one in particular.
Okay.
I'm not going to say some.
Don't say no names. Yeah.
But one who was just like, you think you know what you're doing, but you may not know as much. Right? You think you want to do whatever you want to do, and that's not going to work in psychology. Maybe this is not cut out for you.
Oh, wow.
It was so brutal that some professors would pull me aside and be like, you didn't deserve that.
Oh, wow.
But would not speak up to that professor, right? And so I left that experience feeling like, I remember one time just like sitting and crying in the stairwell right, with one of my classmates being like, what the F is going on?
For sure.
But God works all things, because it took me going to Atlanta, which was a mixed race space, but just a black ass internship experience.
For sure.
Where folks were able to like have me talk openly about the stuff I experienced, right? Hold it and be like, that ain't true, right? And so I feel like doing internship in Atlanta really equipped me with the skills to do the work that I do, to complete my dissertation, to write this book, to do presentations, to be acknowledged by, oh boy, down to ASAP.
Exactly.
Right?
I
and
totally
to feel
agree.
affirmed now that like, nah, I'm that girl. It's not the diamonds, it's not the pearls.
It's not.
What Beyonce say?
It's not the pearl.
Okay, I'm that girl.
Okay, exactly. You know, I thought about another thing too, and just like listening to you, like, you know, thinking about my experiences at HBCUs prior to going to PWI for my PhD, but also when I went on like internship residency, I was at Vanderbilt. There was one black psychologist.
Yeah.
Right. And then there were, out of the 13 of us of the cohort, there were 3 black women. And I was the only one married to a black man at the time. So those earlier experiences at HBCUs absolutely prepared me for that, because I was really clear about who I was.
Yeah.
You know, when I got there. Also, I mean, even though like we've had these experiences and been grounded in so many different ways, I think we still to this day battle with and struggle with negotiating and managing imposter syndrome. Like, I think it's a process.
And because of who we are and what we do, we're in spaces that sometimes pull us to the carpet and just like, are you going to succumb to this imposter syndrome? Right. Or are you going to fight back? Right. Because the external messaging is always going to be there. Right.
It's always going to be there. Do you think for you, is it ever more loud than other times for you?
For sure. Okay. I think it's louder when, to your point at Vanderbilt, right? There's not a lot of representation. Right? And so it's like, I know what I know. I'm just going to speak transparently. But white people have a way of not understanding what you're saying.
Right.
When you say it.
Right.
Right. So like, as I'm sharing the knowledge, I'm like, I know what I know, but you making it sound like I don't know what I know.
Right.
Because you're asking these questions that I just said.
I know I answered.
Right?
I know I answered.
Right.
I'm clear.
So yes, it definitely comes up in certain spaces than others.
For sure.
But there are ways in which we can totally manage it, right? So there's a Psychology Today article out there that we can maybe even link in the show.
We should. Absolutely.
Yeah, that highlights how to manage imposter syndrome. So some of those ways include like checking the facts, checking reality.
Learn the facts, right? Yeah. Be clear.
Be clear on who you are and what you've done and what you know.
Right.
And sit in that.
Right.
Acknowledge some of your failures. So it's not that you are an imposter, right? But you are a person who's on a path of success.
Right.
Who got some bumps. We all got bumps.
Like I see failures or setbacks or however we want to coin them as just natural processes in the things that we need to do.
Setups,
and that it's important for you to learn from them and move forward. Right.
And they can propel you forward.
It absolutely can.
Yeah.
It's supposed to. right?
For sure.
I think it's important also that you're able to like share those feelings, like having a safe space, having people.
That's one of the recommendations.
Best friend.
Yes. Share it with trusted people. You my trusted person.
So share it. Have someone you can, speak to about this, and sometimes even just speak life into you and tell you like, you know what? I hear you, and that's normal, but you are the shit.
Yeah.
And you're good.
Yeah.
Just like I told you, you were like, he quoted my book. I'm like, yeah. What?
You were like, duh.
Duh.
I was like, wait.
Like, you're amazing. You wrote this book that has so much worth and value and great, information. Absolutely.
Yeah, amen.
So
I
yeah,
receive it.
I know.
And I speak that into you.
Please.
I'm not going to spill your tea yet because I want you to announce it, but we'll wait for another show.
Right. Wait. What?
We'll get there.
Okay.
We know.
Another, something else that's important is just let go of these ideas of perfectionism. Perfectionism is not real. We make it up in our heads. And sometimes when we get lost in those loops of perfectionism, it's hard to get out of that when you're thinking that being perfect is the goal.
Yeah.
Right.
And Beyonce said, what?
What Beyonce said?
Catch me when I fall, accept me, flaws and all.
You know how to Beyonce songs.
You can't be
You did
perfect.
go to the concert. You didn't talk about that. Then you went to the concert.
For another episode.
I was about to say, can you listen? You went to the concert.
Yeehaw.
And that outfit was everything.
Amen.
Like,
Amen.
right.
Thank you for just taking down my imposter syndrome.
No. What else? And having some self-compassion, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So, thinking about your self-worth, thinking about, some just internalized, hopefully positive feelings that you've developed for yourself and sort of touching base with that in that way. Thinking about all the good things about you. Like there are amazing things about everybody.
Yes.
There are some things, that may not be ideal, but by and large, I would argue that we're good. We're good people.
We're all trying our best. Out here in the
we're trying our
streets.
best, right?
In the conditions that we live.
In the conditions.
Right? Give yourself grace.
Is there anything else?
No, I think
Think about that.
really
But we're definitely going to add the link around imposter syndrome and psychology today. And you can read some more about some important things that you can do if that's something that you struggle with.
For sure.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to thank us for this episode. I know it blessed you.
I know it did.
You're welcome.
You are very welcome.
See you next time.
Thank you for tuning into the Rosé Thorns podcast.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Special shout out to LP and the Hive.
This podcast is produced by Braxton Turner, Dr. Shun Huddleston, and Dr. P. Ryan Grant.
Join us next time. But until then, keep blooming.